Hey guys, it's Kylie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another stash or trash. This time we're stepping away from the foundations and we're doing an eyeshadow palette. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Star palette. Now, Natasha Denona palettes are very expensive. So the mini palette itself is $25 and they come with 5 different shades. There, I think, are the last Sephora I went to, there was 3 or 4 mini palettes. Now, there was this one and there was another one that was my favorite that I really liked. The reason I like the mini palettes is because this is so perfect to just throw in a bag when you're going to travel somewhere or something, because you're not taking a huge palette. And these are the perfect colors. You've got your transition colors and your shimmer shades to make it a little bit fun, but it's really the perfect travel palette. This one is $25. Did I say that? The regular size Natasha Denona palettes are like $125, so that's crazy. Someday, I think I will get one. I'm a collector of makeup, if you haven't realized. I don't know. I don't know if I can spend that much. I just don't know. So $25 is in my price range. Now, again, for 5 eyeshadows, that's still pretty steep in price, but like I said, it's an everyday eyeshadow palette for me, and if the quality is as good as everybody says, and it's a palette that I'll use every day, then it's worth it for me to spend $25. So I'm going to show you some swatches quick of the palette, and then we will move on and just try it on the eyes. This is the shade Orion right here, and holy cow, that did not swatch as well as I thought it would. Maybe I pressed too hard. Okay, there, you rub it out and it's quite pretty. The next shade is a matte brown and the shade is called Attic. Now, straight off the bat, these feel amazing. They are not swatching the best. This shade is Bellatrix. This shade looks gorgeous. Next shade is Earth. That is another matte. And the last shade is Cosmo. And Cosmo, I believe, is a duochrome. I will say these did not swatch the absolute best, but I don't go judge my eyeshadows just off of swatches. You have to judge them how they apply on the eyes. I just wanted to show you all the colors. The main reason I bought this palette and not the other one, I'm going to have to show you a picture of the other one because it was so pretty. The main reason I got this one instead of the other one is for this brown shade here. I feel like this shade is harder and harder to find in an eyeshadow palette. I don't know why, but it's really pretty. I'm probably just going to do a super simple look using the middle 3 shades. I don't know, I might end up using some color too, but I really just want to try out the palette itself and see how well it works and blends. The feel of these is amazing. It does have a lot of fallout, but that is not something that bothers me one bit. I don't know why so many people get so up in arms about fallout. To me, it's not a big deal. And as long as you tap off your brush, you're not going to have a bunch of actual fallout onto your face. So right now I'm using the shade Attic. This blends out super well, super easy, and it's very pigmented, which I really like. Also, I used the Morphe M441 to blend this first shade. Next, I'm going to take the shade Attic, and we're putting that on a Morphe M433, and I'm just going to pack this in the outer corner. I don't know what it is about this color brown. I feel like most of the browns that I have are all so warm toned, and they don't, it's just hard to find this chocolatey brown anymore. So I love it. I'm going to go back in with the first blending brush we used and just make sure those are blended together in the crease. So far, I really like this palette just because blendability wise, it has blended so easy and so fast. A lot of times with my darker shades like the dark browns and blacks especially, but darker colors like this, they can be hard to blend in or blend in together with other colors, and it just takes longer sometimes. But this just, it's, I don't know, just blended so well. I'm going to take the shade Cosmo on a MORPHE M167. It's a packing brush. Now, I don't know, I might have to end up going in with my finger with this shade, but I want to try it with a brush first. Yeah, don't mind me, I'm just using my backdrop to clean my mirror. So the brush didn't work. I'm going to try to take it on my ring finger and pack it on the eyelid. Okay, so far, I mean, it's pretty, and maybe it's because it's blending in with the brown, but even up front, it shouldn't, like, look how blue it is here compared to the eye. I just feel like it's not showing the full, you know, that it should have. So either we could cut it out with concealer, but since I already have this all over my eyelid, I am just going to try to put it on the brush and spray it with some MAC Fix Plus and see if that does anything to help. I prefer to apply stuff with the brush anyways. I just feel like I have way more control. Yeah, that is definitely helping. Okay, there we have it so far. Is this my favorite shade? No. No. But it is very pretty. It's very different, so I like that. I would definitely use it. I think this is a very pretty smoky look, so I like it for that. It just makes this palette even more versatile. I'm going to go back into the brown shade with a Morphe M507 and just deepen up the outer corner just a touch. Yeah, I really like this. Now I am going to go into Bellatrix right here. I'm going to add this in the inner corner and see if I can brighten it up just a little bit. I like to be able to test out as many colors as I can basically, and to try to test out how well the colors go with, like, build on each other. It helps me determine, you know, how much I like the palette, because when you can pack eyeshadows on top of each other and they blend well together and everything, it just again makes it for an even more versatile palette. So far I'm liking how it's going. I am going to add a little MAC Fix Plus just to see how that works out. I think this shade on its own would be so gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to take the M507 again, and I'm going to dip back into Attic, which is the brown shade, and I'm going to run this under, oh gosh, under the lash line. Maybe this was not the brush for the job. Oh well, I've already committed. Then I'm just taking, I don't even know what brush this is. I think it's from Alamark. Oh, it's a Luxie brush. Oh, okay. This is the Luxie 209 large shader brush. This isn't the brush I would typically use, but this is what's clean. So I am going into the shade Earth again, and I'm going to blend out that dark brown shade that I just used under the lash line. I'm going to attempt to stamp Cosmo on the lash line using a flat definer brush. This is the Luxie 221 flat definer. I have a tiny bit of fallout. I think that is from the brown shade, but it wiped off super easy, so no issues there. So this is the look I got so far. I'm going to put on mascara and then I'll be back. I just used the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. If you've been here, you know how I feel about it. This is all I got right now. I've been holding out waiting for BoxyCharm, hoping that they were going to send a mascara, but I don't think this month has one in it, so I'm just gonna go buy one. The only thing that this palette didn't have, which I realized when I was putting on my mascara, is a highlight shade. So I'm just gonna go in with my regular OFRA highlighter in Rodeo Drive and just highlight the high points of my eyebrows and the inner corner. Ooh, yeah. And I'm using the Morphe M431 brush. So now that everything is all done and finalized, I do really like the look we got. I think it's gorgeous. That blue shade, I didn't like it at first, but the more I look at it, I really love this look. It's just a simple, smoky, pretty look, and then I just like it, okay? So let's talk about the pros and cons of this palette before we decide if we're gonna stash it or trash it. The pros about this palette is it's very versatile. These 3 shades, again, are perfect for an everyday, natural, just beautiful look. Then you've got your pops of color as well. You can make it a dark, smoky look or a bright, princessy look, you know, just everyday, natural, whatever. So it is a great, perfect, everyday eyeshadow palette that you can just throw in your bag if you're traveling, whatever. It's great. Okay, I think we get the gist. The blendability is perfect. It was, again, so easy to blend everything out. Every color that I used blended in very well with the others. There's some eyeshadow palettes that you use one color and then try to blend another color on top of it and it can get muddy or something, and there was no issues with that. So that was great. The only downfall to this is you do have to spray these 2 shades, I think, with like a MAC Fix Plus or get it wet with some water to get that full, like, pow. The blue shade especially, I think this shade, the Bellatrix shade, might not be the case if you just use that on the eyelid. Not a big deal though that you have to spray it. There are so many eyeshadows and mostly shimmers and stuff that I spray anyways, or you have to spray, or you have to use your finger to apply it. So it's not really a downfall, but that's the only thing I can think of with this palette that might be an issue for somebody else. I don't know. So I really love this palette. The price point, again, that might be another downfall for you, but if this is a palette that you would use every single day, which I totally would, then to me it's worth it. So I will definitely be checking out the other mini palettes. I'm not ready to commit to a big one yet. I think that the price points are crazy, and I think if there were a palette that I liked enough of the big ones and that really drew me in, I could maybe spend that much money, but there are none so far that I'm like, I have to have that. So I'm still hoping that someday it'll come. But I do think I am going to get another mini. If you guys have this, let me know. Do you guys like it? What are your thoughts on it? And now that you've seen it, if you don't have it, is this something that you'd consider purchasing? Just let me know. I think it's pretty great. That is it for today then. I'll post everything I used today in the description box below if you want to check those out. Be sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.